YouTube, what's going on? This is PokeTCG Gamer back with another video, and in today's video we're going to be going over my Week 4 match versus Magic and his team, the FC Popplio. This is a match that I was very scared for when I was prepping. Definitely put a lot of time into the prep. Definitely shoutouts to Zazo, aka Iron Flash Gaming, of course, for helping me with my build. Definitely gave me some good ideas, and we bounced back a few different ideas that we had with each other. I also want to shout out James, of course, for editing my videos. Like always, thank you, James. And that's pretty much it. So let's just get into the team, or the teams that we each brought. So he brings Rufflet, Gigalith, Excadrill, Como-O, Almamola, Sneasel. And he left behind Landolai, Roserade, Mega King, Musharna, and Mimikyu. Now, I was pretty surprised by the team that he brought. Not completely. I did expect Mega Kangaskhan and Mimikyu over Rufflet and Sneasel. Sneasel does have a good matchup versus my team, being able to ice shard things like my Torrentee, pressure the Slowbro with knockoff, as well as the Golurks. Possibly catch a Scissor with a Hidden Power Fire, or the Natural Gift Fire. But I didn't really expect it because I thought Mimikyu was a better bring over, just because it as you guys can see, he does not have a fighting immunity or resist on his team that he brought. And Mimikyu not only gives him a fighting immunity, but it gives him, if he switches it in cleanly, it gives him a guaranteed check to my Terrakion because of the disguise. But he did not decide to bring that. And he also decided to bring the Rufflet, which it did make sense to me when I saw the Rufflet. I really expected a banded Rufflet because it 2-KOs Slowbro, which is pretty important. And because it 2-KOs Slowbro, that really supports his Excadrill sweeping me later. But as long as it's not Pasha Berry, my Crawdon checks it. So definitely have to keep that in mind. And I did expect Mega Kangaskhan over Rufflet, just because Mega Kangaskhan, even though I have Rocky Helmet Mons, or like Rocky Helmet Slowbro as an option for it, and things like Golurk to be immune to return, or its stab, I still thought it was a solid bring, but Rufflet did make some sense to me when I saw it, because, like I said, banded 2-KOs my entire team, and it supports Excadrill sweeping later if you're going to weaken my Slowbro enough. So, let's just get into my team. The first mon, or actually I do want to mention really quick, I did drop Rotom-Mow for Swallow. I might be doing a little waiver update quickly, but I'm not too sure yet. But when I bring Swallow, if I do, I assume I'm going to. It does give my team a little bit more speed. But when I do, I'll go over a little bit of what it does then. But let's just get into what I brought for this game. So we have Terrakion. I'm not gonna reveal too much of the set, just because I didn't show much of it off. He does not have a fighting resist, so I didn't have to click anything else really other than close combat. But I was speed creeping a max speed Landorus Incarnate. And I did have Sword Stance to be able to boost up and kill the Almamola. I guess I'll just reveal that I did have the Z-Rock move with the Stone Edge to be able to kill the Almamola at +2. And yeah, the Musharna as well, which also lives at +2 Stone Edge. So that's pretty much the Terrakion. Pretty standard Sword Stance Terrakion with the Z move. Next up we have Crawdon, which is speed creep to outspeed the Almamola. I have Sword Stance, Knockoff, Aqua Jet, and Crab Hammer. This set pretty much, it does a lot of work to his team. Obviously it's both its stabs are resisted by Como, but if I can knock an item, if it's not a Z move, if I can knock an item off, then that'd be nice. And if I can pass a sub to it, which you guys will see later, I have a substitute Baton Pass Scissor. If I could pass a sub into my Crawdon now more and say he doesn't have anything to break it, and he just has like Waterfall or Scald, then I can SD up and proceed to get a kill or two on his team. So next up we have Golurk. This is an interesting Golurk spread for sure. We have Toxic, Ice Punch, Earthquake, and Stealth Rocks. This is pretty much designed to take on things like Mega Kangaskhan. I'm pretty much max HP, max defense, but I do have an Adamant Nature, just because I did not need the Bold Nature. And the Adamant Nature allowed me to KO Roserade after rocks, which I did want. If you wanted to like hard switch that in. I can't do much damage to the Mega Kangaskhan, but I can Toxic it and wear it down. And with the Excadrill, since I'm max HP, max defense, I can successfully block its spin and not take much from its attacks. And if it's not on an Air Balloon or if it's not Sugar Berry, I can kill it with an Earthquake. So next up we have Scizor, which, like I said before, it's a substitute Baton Pass set with also U-Turn and Bullet Punch. There was reasoning behind U-Turn and Baton Pass. First, I didn't really need any other move. I could have ran Bug Bite as my stab, but I would rather have a momentum move like U-Turn. That's still it's like I said, it's a momentum move, but it's also stab. And I can if I don't want a Baton Pass out predicting a switch, I can U-Turn, so I'm getting momentum but also doing damage. And pretty much designed, I can set up subs on a non-HP Fire Musharna and a non-HP Fire Almamolga. So that's pretty much the Scizor set. I can Baton Pass subs into possibly Terrakion and Crawdon and do work there. Next up we have Torrentee. Pretty much Assault Vest with U-Turn, HP Ice, Grass Knot, and Hurricane. Hurricane just for stab, U-Turn for momentum, HP Ice for the Lando Eye, which I am speed creeping, the same as the Terrakion. And Grass Knot hits Gigalith for a 2 KO after rocks. And a 3 KO after rocks if it has leftovers. So, next up, actually I'm not sure if it's a 3 KO, don't quote me on that. I'd have to run the calc again. But Grass Knot was basically just there for that. And last up we have Slowbro with the Toxic, Slack Off, Scald, and Size Shock. Pretty standard. Toxic, like I said, it wears down things like Mega Kangaskhan. Size Shock hits things like Roserade, Komao, and that's pretty much it. And Scald, obviously, it can get burns on things like Mimikyu, Sneasel, Komao, Excadrill, and Rufflet, I guess, too, and Mega Kangaskhan, so, and then Slack Off, obviously, for recovery. So that's pretty much my team, and I already went over his, so I think we can just get into the battle. So I decided to lead off with my Terrakion, predicting a possible Sneasel lead or a Gigalith lead. I was really expecting the Gigalith lead, him expecting my Torrentee lead so he can just get up rocks. But he actually leads off with the Rufflet here. So right off the bat, I was actually really scared of this Rufflet. It's a pretty big threat. Obviously it has Hustle so it can miss its moves, but that it's still a really huge threat. I ran the calc and Scarf Superpower did kill me. But like I said, looking at the team matchup, he didn't have the best ways of weakening my Slowbro. He does have Pursuit Sneasel, possibly. But that's not the it's a kind of reliable way to kill my Slowbro, but I could obviously be Cobra, or not kill my Slowbro weaken. I could obviously be Cobra though. He might have some Toxic Mod to like wear me down, but I really thought this would be banned just because of what it does to my team, and my team is pretty slow outside of things like Torrentee and Terrakion. So I really expected a ban set. So I'm just gonna click Close Combat as it does kill, and he is not Sash, he is not Scarf, and we do pick up a kill there. Now it was a pretty risky play, risking my Terrakion like that. It's one of my win conditions for sure. But if I did lose that Terrakion, it wouldn't have been the end of the world. It would have been pretty bad, but it wouldn't have been the worst thing ever. As Crawdon still hits his team extremely hard, and Slowbro and Torrentee and Scizor combined still switch into his team very effectively. So it wouldn't have been the worst thing if I did lose it, but it definitely would have been it wouldn't have been good. But like I said, I really expect the ban set. So we do get pick up that kill. So now I'm just gonna go into my Scizor. Actually predicted possibly a Toxic to catch my Slowbro or my Torrentee, but he actually shows the Waterfall. So judging by that damage, I know that I can sub up on this thing. I'm not expecting Waterfall plus HP Fire. So I just sub, and I could have U-turned here to get off damage, but just in case he like dragged, I don't know, just in case he didn't break my sub, I baton passed, and I just baton passed right out into my Torrentee. Seeing the Flamethrower, I kind of thought that I could take pretty much any hit from this thing, and pretty much just Hurricane. So I'm just going to throw off a Hurricane here, and these turns are going to be pretty repetitive. I'm going to Hurricane and miss, I'm going to Hurricane and miss, and we're going to go through a pretty repetitive thing with Almomola, Torrentee, Scizor, and Como, and Gigalith at this point. But right here I just U-turn on his Wish, knowing he's going to go into this, as now I can just go into my Golurk. And he does not want to take damage on this. Like, he doesn't want to take like an Adamant Earthquake, Max Attack Earthquake. So he just switches out into his Almomola. As I said, my Rocks. Now, looking at the rest of his team, I didn't need Golurk super healthy. It could just be a possible spin blocker versus the X-Drill or possible sack. And I know I'm not going to be too killed by Waterfall. It's probably going to do around like 40%. I think was the calc. Actually, I think even less because I'm max defense. But either way, I just Toxic this thing to put out a timer, as he does the same to me, which is fine with me. I'd much rather have this. I'd much rather exchange Toxics here because it's much worse for him than it is for me. So now I think I go into my Scizor here, and this is where we repeat the process of plays. I'm pretty sure he wishes, and I'm pretty sure I either substitute or I U-turn. I think I do U-turn here, predicting the Como. As you guys are going to see right now, I do U-turn, go on to my Torrentee. And once again, I don't really fear the Gigalith. I have switches into it. If it gets up rocks, that's it's not the worst thing. It's not the best, not the worst. So I'm just going to fire up a Hurricane as he goes right back into his Almomola. And look at this, we miss. So we're just going to repeat the process right now. This time we're not going to try to Hurricane again. We're just going to U-turn out. And I'm just going to go right back into my Scizor again. As this time I actually sub, predicting him to possibly stay in. But at the same time, he didn't have much reason not to go right out into his Como. So I do lose a little bit more health from the sub, but it's not the worst thing in the world. I can still check the Sneasel. Not switching super well, but I can still check it. So I'm just going to U-turn out now, so I get a nice little chip damage off in the Como. As now I'm able to go around my Torrentee, and I'm going to click Hurricane again, and lo and behold, I miss. And that's the 4th miss in a row. So right here, I was pretty positive he was going to wish, so I just Hurricaned. And look at this, Karma pays us back a bit as I get a crit, I confuse him, and he hits himself. It's pretty much the ultimate turn right there. So right here, he's at 19. Even if he stays into Wish, he dies to the combination of U-turn plus Toxic. So I just decided to U-turn out here, as he does go into his Gigalith, as I get a nice U-turn off. As right here, I'm just going to go into my Terrakion, as look at his fighting resist, it's not there. Hold on, there is, if you guys hear barking in the background, I apologize for that, but he does reveal the Chopper Berry, which I did expect, just the way he brought it out, or not the way he brought it out, the way that I didn't see an item. I knew he wasn't Smooth Rock based on the last Sandstorm, and yeah, pretty much I could have SD'd there and took less damage from this Earthquake, but I did not. And you guys are gonna see after the -1, this Earthquake only does 91, and me and Magic did calcs after the game with our spreads. And the roll was actually 91 to 108, so he would have got a min roll, which is very unfortunate. But at this point, Terrakion wasn't super necessary. but it would have allowed him to possibly save his Gigalith here, but he does not. He can't really afford to, or he'd have to sack something else if anything. So right here he goes into his X drill, trying to utilize these sand turns. As I'm just going to go on to my Soul Bro, even though I'm toxic. I'm not toxic yet, but it was just a safe switch. I'm just going to fire off a Scald here, as the Alamo is going to come in, and it can possibly wish up now. Looking at the Scald damage, he is just like a normal ladder Alamo spread. But right here, he actually has a little bit more SPDF, but I wasn't really sure on the spread, but he was some kind of mixed, possibly defense. But as you guys are going to see, this the side shock does 19 as he wishes up, and right here I predict him to either waterfall, possibly predicting like a switch into Scizor, or toxic, predicting me to switch out, predicting him to protect. So I just Scald here, and Silver gets its third kill of the season, I think, which is pretty nice for a mon that I pretty much bring solely with no offensive, with no like special attack EVs. But right here goes into Sneeze, so if he pursues, it's fine. I'm gonna live and I'll get some regenerator back. But right here I just go into my Crawdon, knowing that I can take a knockoff into low kick, but turns out that I'm pretty sure by calcs that he was adamant. So this low kick was actually a roll. It was a 50-50 roll pretty much, but he does get a crit. It's not the worst thing in the world. It was still nice to check the X drill, but it wasn't totally needed. So right here he goes out into his Como as I go out into my Golurk. So right here, he either predicted me to, obviously I'm not going to kill him, but he possibly predicted me to go into a Torn and tried to get up a last effort setup. So right here I'm just going to Ice Punch as he does Dragon Dance. Now, this would have been unfortunate, but I still have a, Soul Bro still eats one hit in the back as long as it's not like a Z move, cleaning scales, and Torrentee still eats one hit in the back as well. Unless it's Outrage with a, or actually I think Outrage just kills it, but I'm not too sure because he had Flamethrower, and right here you guys are going to see he reveals the Z Shadow Claw, which does kill my Golurk. So very interesting set. I didn't see the last move, but right here I go into my Torrentee, and he does Dragon Nets, going off a Hurricane Mist, but I do have the HP Ice, which does kill it from here. So now it's 4 Mons versus the Excadrill, and I'm just going to U-turn out here knowing I outspeed. Sorry for pausing that. And that does 9%, but I'm just going to go into my Soul Bro, and I'm just going to fire off a Scald. Even if he went for something like Earthquake there, and 3-hit KO with my Soul Bro, as I proceed to not kill him here. I probably would have doubled into my Torrentee to try to save differential, because I do live for Rock Slide, because he's not Life Orb, but he does just go for Rock Slide again, trying to flinch me as I just Scald, and right here he is going to Earthquake as I just fire for another Scald, knowing I live in Earthquake or an X Scissor, and I just win the game right here. As very good game to Magic and his FC Popplio. Hopefully we can get a rematch in the playoffs. I definitely thought his team was very threatening. He thought the same about mine. I think we both had a pretty hard time prepping, but I'm definitely happy with how the team turned out. Terrakion picking up 2 more kills, building off its strong performance of last week. But next week we are playing, if I'm not mistaken, we're playing Parker and his, I forget his team name off the top of my head. I think it's the Temple Rowlets. I'm not super positive on that. But that's going to be it for the video, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Definitely leave a like if you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.